Kevin, I gotta hear you.
So my name is Brittany. My new last name is Carol, but at school I go by Mrs. Wheatus.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We got married in March, so
Oh, congratulations.
yeah. I've been with the club since 2020. 2020 when I got hired in as a volunteer. I took over for the women's coaching, and I
Okay.
coached the women for 3 years. This is my first year. I'm stepping more into an advisor role. So what I mostly do is scheduling the games, doing parent meetings, make sure that I schedule the field. I answer emails, I buy the equipment, I do the fundraising, I work with NorCal Rugby and get the referees and athletic trainers. So all of the behind the scenes that no one wants to do, I get to do that now. But I did coach for 3 years. I actually started playing rugby in college. I played at St. Mary's College of California. I joined the women's team as a walk-on my freshman year. I knew absolutely nothing about rugby. And I always joke with the girls, I joined the sport for the boys, but then I fell in love with like the culture, the women's team. I'm still best friends with pretty much my whole like group that I was when I was in college with who play rugby. We still like talk, so just kind of that familiar aspect. Yeah, so the really great thing about rugby and the thing that I really loved is we really need all body types, all athletic abilities, all just we need everybody. We need fast people, we need slow people, we need strong people, we need people that maybe don't do well in other organized sports. We kind of have we kind of get a lot of, I don't want to say misfits, but people who kind of don't necessarily fit into the stereotypical role of like a high school athlete. Most of our girls for a while came from water polo and swim. Now we have a lot of girls who are in theater and band. For the boys team, we do get some football players, but then there's also a lot of kids who maybe they've always done baseball and they didn't make the team. And so they're trying to kind of get that community aspect. The cool thing about rugby, because it is still starting up and so new to the area, if you don't have any experience, it's not putting you at a disadvantage. Whereas like I know baseball here in Brentwood is like huge, and these kids have been starting since they're 4. And if you don't start at your 4, by the time you get to high school, like you've lost so many years. But with this sport, we don't have a elementary or middle school club for you to get involved yet. So if you are a freshman or you're a senior who just kind of wants to change and play, you can walk on, and there are 4 or 5 other people on the team who've never played before.
It's been a great experience for me. I've always been interested in rugby ever since I was really little, because I grew up with immigrant parents and I'd always watch them, have it in the background. So it's always something that I wanted to do. And when I found out that they had a rugby team, I was super excited, and I just joined immediately. And it's been such a great pastime and a way to get out energy. And yeah.
D1 Bowl 2 years ago. Well, how was that? I mean, it's the first one for the boys in the history of the club. And what was that like for you?
That was a great experience. I'm still friends with all those guys, and that team was like the best it's ever been. Not just with how skilled we were, but just the brotherhood and the bond was unbreakable, and it was just a great experience.
It's a very welcoming sport, and I came in a freshman not knowing anything about this sport, and they taught me all the basics, and they made sure to make sure we were safe and included in everything, and it's brought many opportunities throughout high school, making friends. It made the transition from middle school out of COVID into high school much easier for me.
So you've been pretty much a rugby life for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
You mentioned this community, but what really about the sport itself, what really stood out to you?
I wanted to try something new,
Okay.
and I grew up with people around me who knew about the sport or played the sport, so it really influenced me to start the sport.
When I first joined, it was kind of like an underground sport. Nobody really knew about it. Whenever I would tell people about, I play rugby, what? Isn't that the one with sticks? So, yeah, it's just fun to, have everyone be, aware that, it actually exists.
Can we get back to the sticks part?
Dude, I know people can confuse it for lacrosse all the time.
The biggest thing is we've gotten some of the freshmen to be interested. My son came in as a freshman because Alan's son was moving on, and he brought my son in when Alan's son was a senior. And we kind of leave it a lot up to the to the players to get more players. And I think this year we've done a lot better job of this as far as recruiting, the kids talking to other kids about coming to play rugby. So it's challenging. We have, again, like you said, players that have never played. I think this year we have a handful of our roughly 23 players that have never played rugby before. So just kind of getting them up to speed, having the guys that have played before almost become like player coaches and help out some of the guys that need more help, especially with some of the skill drills, passing, especially. Everything has to be behind. It's something that we emphasize from day one, and try to get kind of momentum from there and build the skills a little slower than what we would hope for.
There aren't any pads, so they have to rely on themselves to keep themselves safe. And the coaching we give them is to keep their head out the way. You tackle you hit with your shoulder first, and keep your head out to the side, so your head isn't being impacted nearly as much as it is when you see football and it's head-on-head impact, or people just going in with their head first. So I think that's one of the big things. And then just teaching them awareness, so they've got their head on a swivel, because people can tackle you from anywhere. Similar to football, but you don't have the helmet again blocking your vision, so you can see what's coming, you can see where you're going.
There's no stoppage in rugby. The game is continuous, so they have to be more aware and they have to be more alert of their surroundings, or they can get hurt.
We have a lot more rules to make sure, because like football, you can tackle anywhere, any direction, as hard as you want because of all the padding. Rugby, there's certain areas you can tackle, certain rules, like you can't lift people off the ground, you can't tackle from like ribs higher, and like stiff arms, you can't push people. There's a lot more rules to guarantee safety.
Well, I think the strict tackling policy in rugby plays a key role in that. I also think that, a lot of the coaches try to instill discipline and respect in the players. So it kind of prevents people from doing reckless tackles that would end up hurting other people.
We've got quite a few games scheduled, more so this year than we have in the previous years, and just looking forward to watching them play and progress and do better each game.
I'm just ready to spend my senior year with my big family and my final year, possibly final year of rugby, and just live in the moment and experience it all for one last time.
I'm just looking forward to, finish strong and, get this final year done and over with, and I could probably join a club when I'm an adult and, maybe play at a more advanced level. But I've had a great time at this club. So.